Is there anybody here that owes God praise?
Amen.
Amen. Do you owe him praise this morning? Has it been good to you?
Yes.
Yes.
Even when you did not see a way, did he make a way?
Amen.
When you looked at your circumstance and your heart dropped and it started beating real fast and the palms of your hand got a little sweaty, you just didn't know what to do. But God made a way.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord.
Amen.
Thank you.
It does not matter your circumstance today. This is not the end. This is not the end.
Amen.
Amen.
This is for somebody. I don't care what you're going through. Your latter. Somebody grab this. Your latter shall be greater
Amen.
than your first.
Amen.
Where you are today is not going to determine where you're going to end up.
Amen. Amen.
Let that resonate with you. That's not the sermon. God just told me to tell somebody that.
Amen.
Most holy and everlasting Father, it's me again. Standing before you, before your people. Oh God, touch these lips of clay, move Deborah out of the way. Send the rhema word, God. God, send your preacher.
Yes.
Let your word fall on good soil, soft hearts, where when we leave this place, we'll be determined to be more dedicated, more committed, more caring, and that we will let our light shine.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Yes. Amen.
Stephen read earlier from Matthew 5, verses 14 through 18. I should call your attention briefly to 14 through 16. Amen.
Amen.
Ye. Ye. Back then they said ye. Now we say you. You, we are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. You know if you're going into the city. Anybody ever been in New York? Before you get to the city, what do you see? You see the lights. Anybody ever been to Las Vegas? Before you land, you look down there, you can see the bright lights. Lights that cannot be hidden because they are shining. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Christians, let your light shine.
Amen.
Tell somebody, let your light shine.
Let your light shine.
Let your light shine. This is Jesus' talk.
Amen.
This was so important that Jesus himself told the crowd that had gathered on the mount. This sermon, Matthew 5 through 7, these scriptures are called the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus had just come down from the mountain where the devil had tempted him. He had been hungry 40 days, 40 nights, he hadn't eaten. He had just had an encounter with the devil. And he come down, and Jesus goes back up unto the mount. And there was a great crowd of people round about him. And he began to teach them. He first taught them the Beatitudes. Blessed are they. Then he went into a similitude. Similitudes are likeness, stories of things where you compare. One thing may compare to another thing. Similitudes. First he said that we are the salt of the earth. And then he started talking about the qualities of salt. And then he went into ye are the light of the world. And then he began to talk about what light does. And why you ought to be a light. As we enter into the season of Lent, this is a message of self-inspection. Self-inspection. Today's message, Let Your Light Shine, speaks to our willingness individually, to follow Christ's examples for the world to see so that he can be glorified. It's not about us.
No.
It's not about us. We are the messengers. We are the ambassadors. The message is Jesus. We represent him. We are Christians. So we ought to be Christ-like. We ought to live a life that is dedicated to pleasing God, free from hypocrisy. You know what hypocrite is? Somebody who says one thing and does what? Another. We ought to live a life full of love, full of grace. We ought to be compassionate. We ought to care one for the other. We ought to exercise wisdom. We ought to be able to discern some stuff. If it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, and look like a duck, chances are it's a duck.
Amen.
We ought to take things as the Spirit discerns us and not try to twist it and make it into what we want it to be.
Amen.
Relationships where men are beating women and women are beating men, and then we say, but I love you. You're trying to twist some stuff. You're twisting some stuff. You got to have some discernment. You got to know that you know what the truth is, and you ought to walk in wisdom and discernment. Amen?
Amen.
Light has certain qualities. Just as salt has qualities, and Jesus explained those, so does light. First of all, in order to have light, you got to have an energy source. I can have a light bulb, I can have a lamp, and I can have a wire. But unless I plug it in, I'm not going to get any light. And sometimes you can plug it in and you still don't Because the source, the electricity is not there. I remember a Hurricane Matthew. I had paid my light bill,
Well,
but my lights didn't come on. There was no light because there was no electricity. There was no source. So it is with us. If you don't have a source, you don't have any light. Jesus is our source. He changes not. We don't have to worry about getting that's where we get our energy from. We don't get it from GUC or Westinghouse or wherever the companies now that supply energy. We know Christians get their energy from Jesus.
amen.
He changes not. I don't have to worry about a hurricane coming and knocking off my electricity, my source, so I can still shine.
Amen. Come on.
Amen?
Amen.
I can still shine.
Amen.
So we got to have a source, then we got to have a connection. Oh!
Now, come on now. Right.
The electricity
Uh-huh.
can be on. Huh?
Amen.
But until I plug in
Uh-huh.
to the source, I don't have a connection. See, you got to have a relationship.
Wow. Well, come on now.
If you want some light,
Uh,
you got to have a relationship. Light has one purpose. There's only one purpose to light. Only one. And that's to dispel darkness.
Amen.
To dispel darkness. That's the only purpose to light. If you want to make a place brighter,
Get your light.
cut on the light. One purpose. Christians.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't take a whole lot of light.
No.
A match. A candle.
Uh-huh.
But you gotta let your light shine.
Amen.
These babies got some light.
Amen.
They can let it shine.
Amen.
Christians are the only ones who can show the world the way of salvation.
Amen.
We're the only ones. Liken us to a flashlight in a dark room. The dark room is the world. And we are that flashlight. The only ones in the earth who can show the world the way of salvation and demonstrate what God can do through a transformed life is a Christian. But you gotta let your light shine.
Amen.
You gotta let it shine. All of us been caught up in some mess before.
Amen. You preach. Come on.
And let me tell you something. Hope has not forgotten about it.
Amen.
They will be quick to remind you. But you can let your light shine.
Yeah.
You can say, yes, I used to say certain things. Used to go certain places.
Yeah.
I used to act certain ways. But the places I used to go,
Amen.
I don't go there anymore.
Amen.
The things I used to say, I don't say them anymore. The things I used to touch, I don't touch them anymore. The thoughts I used to have, I don't have them anymore. I've been transformed. I've been changed.
Yeah.
When I was once in darkness, I've been brought to the marvelous light.
Yeah.
And now I am a light. And you need to let your light shine.
Amen.
You don't have to make it shine. Folk will see you.
Amen.
change in your life.
Amen.
If it's real,
Amen.
and I know what, they may not understand it. They may not know why, but they'll size up to you and say, you seem different. But they may not know that you've been changed. But you know.
Amen.
You know.
Amen.
Your light will be seen. It'll be seen. When you're in the light, people can find their way.
Amen.
But if you're in darkness, people stumble and they fall. They may be able to get up again. But how much better will it be if you are walking in the light?
Amen.
And you're letting your light shine. You can avoid some stuff, can't you?
Yeah.
Huh? Anybody ever gotten up at night? It's your room too. And you done walked that floor 1,000 times.
Well.
But this one particular day, you go right there on that chest of drawers and you stump your toe.
Well.
Because you did it in darkness.
Amen.
But had the light been on, you would have avoided
Yes.
the hurt
Yes.
and the pain. See, that's what happens to our lives when we walk in darkness. We hurt. And we hurt others. But if we were walking in the light, if the light was on, we could avoid some stuff. Children. Obey your parents.
Amen.
They're your lights. If you listen to them, you will avoid some stuff.
Amen. Amen.
Huh?
You preach.
Let your light shine. The world needs light.
Amen.
We need somebody. Could you imagine, even in the natural, if there was no light? That's why I believe God did that first. He said, let there be light. And there was light. God didn't make man first. So no matter of fact, we were the last thing he made.
Amen.
But he said, let there be light. And there was light. God knows the importance, the significance of light.
Amen.
Let your light shine.
Amen.
We are the light of the world. Do you know that you may be the only sermon that somebody ever sees?
Amen.
Your life, your walk, how you treat people, how you carry yourself.
Amen.
Note that he doesn't say that we are to be the light of the world. He said we are
The
the light. We are the light of the world. Don't hide your light.
Amen.
Don't hide your light. Verse 15 says, neither do men put a light on the candle and put it under a bushel. Don't hide your light.
Amen.
And Pastor, how do I hide my light? You know that God has worked a change in your life. And when you get with that same old crowd, you go along to get along. Huh?
Yeah.
You go along to get along. You know it's not right. You know you shouldn't go to that place because that place has triggers for you. But rather than be bold enough to say, I pass.
You better preach.
You just go along to get along.
Amen.
You go to that party. You know alcohol is your weakness. You know alcohol is your weakness.
Well.
Cocaine. Whatever your weakness is. And you're striving every day. You're striving every day. You're praying. You're asking God, God, help me.
Amen. Amen.
But then here comes your friend.
Well. Watch out.
Take a swig of this bottle.
Well.
take a swig.
Come on now.
Huh?
Preach. Preach the word.
And you know it's your weakness. You know it's your weakness.
Yeah.
Going along.
Amen.
They get along.
Amen.
Telling folk what they want to hear rather than the truth.
Amen. Come on. Amen.
Trying to appease people.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to please them.
Amen.
Trying to make them be your friend.
Uh-huh.
Huh?
Amen. Preach.
Rather than telling the truth.
Amen.
Huh?
Amen.
I'm talking about hiding your light now. I'm talking about
Amen.
hiding your light. Don't hide your light.
Amen.
Then you let sin dim your light.
Uh-oh. Come on.
I'm going to just do this just one time. Ain't nobody gonna know but me and you, but you know.
Amen.
Sin will dim your light.
Amen.
Amen.
Then when you get around folk that you know you shouldn't have done it, then you're sitting like this. Pastor preaching can't even say amen.
Amen. Come on.
Because you done let sin dim your light.
Well.
Then you got the nerve not to let you won't share your light with nobody else.
Amen.
You don't even want other folk to know
Amen.
how good God is.
Amen.
You
Amen.
don't even want to share your light with nobody else. Huh?
Preaching that.
Folk do that.
Amen.
They want to see you bound.
Amen.
They want to see you
Come on now,
down.
Pastor.
They want to see you in a situation
Yeah.
or a circumstance where you feel hopeless and helpless
Yeah.
and dejected because they want you to be totally dependent
Yeah.
upon them
Amen.
Yeah.
when you could present a deliverer. What do? You hide your heart.
Uh-oh.
You better preach.
Always in drama.
Come on now. Come on now. You might need to say that again. Amen.
Always in drama.
Amen. Come on now. Come on.
Every time you turn around,
Well, come on. Come on. Come on now, Pastor. Come on.
somebody said this or somebody said
Come on,
that, somebody
come on.
this or somebody that,
Well,
something this,
well,
that, and the
well.
third.
Yeah.
And guess who's always the common denominator?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You.
Amen.
Are you really letting your light shine? Are you really letting your light shine?
Preaching that.
I'm talking about inspection now. Self. Don't look around and look at nobody else. Examine
Examine yourself.
yourself.
Amen.
Amen.
Keep it quiet when you ought to speak up.
Amen.
Sometimes we just talk. Then when we need to talk, we don't say a word.
Amen.
Huh?
Amen.
Don't hide your light.
Amen.
Don't hide your light. Pastor's almost finished now. Lastly, share your light.
Amen.
Amen.
Share your light through love.
Amen.
Share your light through witness. There may be somebody sitting right beside you right now
Amen.
that has just gotten delivered from something that you're going through.
Come on. Amen. Amen. Amen.
You gotta let folk know that you love Jesus.
Amen.
You gotta let folk know that I was once lost,
But
but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see.
Amen.
What you going through? You think you the only one ever been through that? There is nothing new under the sun.
Amen.
Nothing new under the sun.
That.
The devil keeps using the same old mess over and over and over and over. Oh, the faces change, people change, but the mess doesn't change.
Amen.
Amen.
You gotta witness.
Amen.
Not just their words. Let me tell you something. You become hypocritical
Uh-oh.
when you talking and don't walk it.
Well,
You gotta practice
uh-oh.
what you preach.
Well,
You gotta do it in word and in action.
mm,
Because the Bible tells me you gotta do more than hear the word. You gotta do the word.
Amen.
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 Then pray one for the other. We need prayer.
amen.
Prayer suits our case. That's what we need. To make our prayers and our supplications known unto God. If you want to let your light shine, love ye one another.
Amen.
Witness to each other.
Amen.
Pray
Mm,
one for the other.
amen.
Share your love.
Mm,
Don't hide your love. And let your light shine.
amen.
Children used to sing a song, they still do. Zion. This little light, this